Okay, so today we have a very special guest with us, a very good friend of ours, a very good friend of yours too, Dean.
No, this is the thing, because I want to jump in here and say this. And you know me for long enough, Pete, to know that I'm always battling with my multiple personalities.
Yeah.
And they're always at war with each other, and
Absolutely.
you're keeping the peace, as well as taking the piss. In the periptosi, because again I'm forgetting my English, of this man, I don't know who I'm talking to. Is it Ange Arabatsis? Is it Manny the Manga Cockaflopoulos?
Yeah.
Is it the Honourable John Plathakis? Or is it Evangelos Arabatsis, the Epidioxos filmmaker? Either way, we're not worthy.
We're not worthy.
You're supposed to say no, we are worthy, but...
You are.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, well,
So
you know
fucked
what?
up.
Let's ask him, right? Let's ask
Okay,
him.
right.
So who?
I just want to say you fucked up, bro. You forgot the middle initial.
What's the middle
From
initial?
Mr. Plathakis.
Yeah, I did, because I can't remember.
C. Plathakis.
John C. And what does the C stand for?
Dare we ask?
Well, that's what we're here for. It's a no holds barred, no beg your pardon show.
Christian. I don't have no idea.
Okay, good one.
Yeah.
So let me. So I'll start off with my perspective on things because why not? So I came across and your show from two people. One was a mate of mine, Tom, who turned around and sent me a message. He says, "Pete, you gotta watch this guy. He's fantastic." And was less than 12 hours, I had this one over here turn around and basically say, "You have to watch this show. This is it's a new take on the way we do stuff within the way we portray Greek and how we handle comedy with regards to our ethnicity." So I watched it and I found it very relatable. So I was watching it. I saw elements of my parents. I saw elements of my mates, some of myself as well. And it wasn't just a rehash of trying to get laughs. It felt far more nuanced. It felt far more that there was a lot of thought put into it. So I just have to ask, man, where did it come from? Like, where did this idea come from?
I had a feeling you'd ask that, and I was thinking about it in the car on the way over here, and I have no fucking idea. I remember the moment where when it happened. I was in my previous place I was living in Seddon in a flat. I don't know what happened, man. Like, maybe I might have been feeling a little bit down or a little bit depressed or something. I'm not sure. But I just grabbed the phone and flipped it round. And if you see that first ever live tip,
Yeah.
that's the first time he really came out. So what you're seeing was that first recording of him actually emerging without apology, or whether just sort of coming out.
Yeah.
And going, you know what, fucking,
And it's slightly different. The performance is slightly different.
It's slightly different there, yeah.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, and initially it was going to be just these sort of one-liner life tip gotsanes, like absurdisms, really, because that's my kind of background in theatre is absurdism, yeah, like Beckett and all that sort of stuff. I love that shit,
Yeah.
So initially it was going to be that, just a series of just like little life tips, here's a life tip about how to fucking whatever, and it's some, malakia underneath there. But it started to evolve into being a vehicle, I guess, for me to express myself through him. And then, the kind of like the lines get blurred sometimes. But generally he's communicating and expressing something that is important to me. So I think that's important, because then otherwise it kind of becomes a caricature. If it's not something that I believe in, and I talk about it, then I'm trying to sort of make something happen,
I think that's, for me, what is the gold within the comedy, because it's not a caricature.
Yeah.
It's a fully formed character with vices, with pet hates, with interests, with loves, and I mean, you kept us company all through the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
There were those messages, are you all right? Call a friend, see if everyone's okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what really stood out for me, because I looked at it this way. When we do ethnic comedy, we generally stereotype.
Yeah.
And the audience that we're looking at is a mainstream audience. And because of that, we play to certain prejudices within that culture.
Yeah.
But here's you being you. Us who grew up in the 90s relate to that because A, speech pattern, B, the places that you say in the comedy that you visited, the concerts, the kind of music, that's all our generation. And that's a generation that was never portrayed, I think, in a comedic sphere by Greeks in this country. I mean, you had your Acropolis now and those guys, and they were the 80s and a little bit of the 70s.
Yeah.
You've got your Sushi Mango now, which is not so much Greek but Italians, which I've got serious problems with, but that's another story. And there's nothing filling the gap in between until you came along. And you care. You've got your pet interests. You've got your pet likes. You've got your stories about your parents and the complex situation in which we negotiate identity. And you just pull it off effortlessly. How much thought goes into these kind of topics, because it is so layered and so nuanced that you could be deconstructing it for hours if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. I've thought about that too. Like, there are some sketches and some videos that I've made where it was more thought out beforehand, like consciously. It was more sort of like frontal lobe, sort of, okay, here's an idea, how can I work it? But most of them kind of come to me when I'm on the bike.
The bike story is fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I was riding through the city on the bike. I'm going to use this fucking bell.
The bell.
Fuck off. So I took it, because I remember, like, you would have experienced this as well, like walking around the city when, you have like a bike courier.
Yeah.
Flies past you.
Yeah.
And they always kind of make these noises of, hey, come on, move it, coming through, whatever, And I figure I'll just pretend that I'm like a bike courier, like flying through the city.
Yeah.
Just going, hey, shoot. And people just going to turn around. So.
Yeah, but that sound effect you make, that where you scare the bravata or you bring the bravata in, that one there, I tried mimicking it to a friend of mine, and it was the biggest mistake I made.
Can you do it again?
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it.
You gotta have like northern or vlachical blood.
That's it. That's what I was about to say. Because
I'm north.
No, you're not north.
I'm north.
You're northeastern. We're northwestern.
I'm just going to back off here. You two have it out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, these are sounds. I look at it this way. These are sounds which are vanishing. If you go to your 20-year-old Greek Australian with his lattes and his whatever they do, because I don't know any 20-year-olds who sit in the last show. They won't know what it is. We'll remember it. We'll remember the oldest Sfirizun. These kind of
absolutely,
things.
yeah.
These are things which we take for granted that are vanishing. So in many ways, I think what you're doing, without tooting your horn and detracting from the comedic element, is you're actually an arc for the way that we were.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
Memories.
Very true.
And you listen to some of the things you say, and think, I remember that. Or we used to do this. And for me, that fits into something which I think is very important, which is it's comedy for us, about us. It has a wider appeal. That's great.
On the head there,
but that's what it is.
It is for us.
Yeah.
You nailed it there. That's what it is, and that's the core of it for me. It's like for us. Like people ask me sometimes, "Who's your audience?" And like consciously, I go, I always reply, "I don't have an audience," but subconsciously, there is an audience, and it is us. And it's not my parents either, because like even when my mum tells me she watched the video, I'm like, "Did you?" Το είδες? She says, ναι, τα καταλαβαίνω κάπου, όλα αυτά, μερικά δεν τα καταλαβαίνω, το πιάνουν λίγο, So, but when she tells me that she's watched the videos, like that's kind of like,
it throws you off.
It doesn't necessarily throw me off, but it always surprises me, because I'm always imagining that it's just people like us, men and women, who are watching it. And even the young people like Dinko Tsianis, the young artist, a brilliant young artist
Was that
who
Yarraville?
commissioned
He did the mural, yeah.
Yeah,
mural
yeah.
in
Amazing guy.
Yarraville,
Yeah.
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 Even when someone like him gets in touch with me and you know, kindly says like good things about my work, it's like, fuck yeah, you're 20 years younger, but he says, yeah, there's something about it. It reminds him of, I don't know whether it's his parents maybe or I don't know exactly what it is, but
It's a real turn on, isn't it, when you're trying to attract someone and then they say, "Oh my God, you remind me so much of my dad,"
yeah, that's
or in my case, of my papu.
But I love the fact that you explain things in English. Like I don't think you've ever failed to, when you mention a Greek word, to give the English translation.
Yeah.
And even though you use words such as for you non-Greeks out there, blah 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 blah, I think that 95% of your audience, who are probably of Greek background, appreciate the fact that you actually explain it and helps them understand some of the stuff that they might have heard growing up, and what when the Buddhas or the others were doing, Buddhas more so talking to each other, or, and what they were really saying with those expressions.
Yeah, and it helps me when I verbalize them as well. I just kind of realize again, oh fucking hell, that's just fuck. So you're gonna fucking slaughter me now. You love me that much that you're gonna fucking slaughter me, like you grab a poor little lamb and stuff like that. But it brings out for me, like it just highlights the nuance in our culture and the melancholy and the depth. And and again with the songs, with the wedding songs and like singing about breakups and that kind of thing, you kind of sit back and listen to the lyrics and you go, holy fuck, like this is about like 11:38 on a Saturday night. Everyone's smashed and everyone's in the middle of the dance floor celebrating the wedding of these two people, and they're singing a song about, I don't want to be friends anymore. I don't want to be friends with people who like to see me hurt.
Yeah.
They just feel it's
I think that's referring to the Bethera. But on nuance, I wanted to ask you this, because Manny stands for Manga, and Manga is a really, really big thing with that character.
Yeah.
And it resonates with a lot of us. I've got a friend who is legally blind, and he refers to his stick that he uses when he's walking as the Mangura of Manga in your honour.
Wow.
So it resonates with a lot of people, and the question is this. It's a complex relationship you have with Manga, because Manny's a complex character. What is it about Manga that has that appeal and helps you develop that through Manny?
That's a good question. It comes down to self acceptance, really. I mean, that's the core of it. Via the sort of like the superficial stuff regarding Magyar, the look and the thing, all that. Using that as an entry point to go in and talk about like self-acceptance, loving yourself, then delving into like what that's true Magyar, like you could be a mugger, but Magyar is a different thing altogether. You can act like a mugger. But Magyar is, I always think of the word mojo, to use
yes, you've used that in the show before. Yeah, for sure.
The same thing, when you've got letting your mojo work, as opposed to when Muddy Waters says, I got my mojo working, but it just doesn't work on you, But letting your inner mojo come out and stepping into your own personal power. That's what it's about.
So for you, Manga is about empowerment?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about standing your ground or sitting your ground like that and looking a person in the eye and saying, this is who I am. I'm holding my space here, And through you can tell it through comedy, and it's probably easier way to get a message like that across. Otherwise you're preaching, babe. Someone's like, you're dirty, my like economy of movement.
Even if it's across the room.
Even if it's across
the
room.
Deganis. Through the window.
It's always a look. And there's a lot of that, actually. I noticed it, I had a friend of mine. Fucking hell. He rocked up the other night. Bill, you're going to kill me when you hear this one. Fucking you did it there. He rocked up to the table, and we were sitting at this table. We were probably about the same size. And there was a fella here, and there was an empty chair in the middle. And we were already there for about an hour and a half. We had eaten already. And he turns up. And that was the chair that he couldn't sit anywhere else. And before he said hello, before he said greetings or anything like that, he rocks up to the table and he goes, "Am I like, who am I, Moses? I got to part the Red Sea." That's fucking gold. I got him. I like, he didn't even fucking say hello. He just rocked up. And I kind of go, look, that's perfect. That's perfect, you know.
So
it does happen.
So you're surrounded by people who actually just give you all this material to work with, right?
Yeah, but it's not like I'm involved. It's a weird sort of dynamic to be part of, because I'm inside it and I'm outside it, and that's always been my reality, even growing up in Brunswick. You know, surrounded by wogs, but I was tilted more towards the arts and performing and. And they've been really supportive. My mates that I've grown up with over the years have been really supportive and come to see me perform in theatre and everything else. But they're like blue collar, salt of the earth type fellas. You know, they come and support me because out of loyalty to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't go to the theatre. And I mean, that's really moving. So I've always been kind of one foot in, one foot out. You know.
So let's talk about that. Apart from the characters that you do on YouTube, which you generously share with us, there's the theatrical component, and I learned from your director, who Manny's always at odds with, Ange Arabatsis.
the producer.
Very, 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 very interesting character. That you guys are working on a film.
Yeah. So they're both helping me with my VCA grad film.
You're so lucky to have so much support, man.
They've got a lot of
Which is called alexithymia.
It's called alexithymia, alexithymia, yeah. It's a state that describes a person who doesn't have the words to express their thoughts, which
is kind of the opposite of your characters, isn't it?
Kind of the opposite of my characters.
The inverse, through the looking glass, if you want.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, you're right. So I've been working on that for about a year and a bit now. I wrote it about a year ago, and then COVID hit, and we were supposed to shoot our grad films late last year, but they VCA pushed the course back about 6 months. Yeah, so I'm shooting in May, and got a brilliant cast together. Like Willow, the woman who the actress who plays the woman, Willow Conway, is just brilliant. I worked with her in a play with Nick Strabakos, who's the male lead, who's like one of the best fucking actors I've ever seen, not just worked with. And
really?
Yeah. He's phenomenal, and he's a Greek fella, and yeah, he's one of those actors that I look up to when I work with.
Wow.
So to be working with him on my grad film is a no-brainer. Wow. Yeah.
And what I want to do is I want to track back a bit, because we've picked up some clues as to your past, right? Based on the shows we've seen with regards to Manny. So my understanding, and putting your cat house days to one side for the moment.
That's a whole other.
That's a whole other show. We'll discuss that soon, because I'm very fascinated with that too, especially when the time your father walked in looking for you. But let's go with this. When did you start doing videography?
The first time I picked up a camera was at high school.
There you go.
Year 12.
Yep.
And I was doing media arts at Thornbury Darabin, and they used to let us hire out a camera for the weekend. We'd take home one of these big VHS cameras.
Yeah.
And then we would basically take the camera out on weekends and film each other doing like burnouts and gears, you know? Of course. Drive up to the top of Mount Dandenong and just film each other all day, all night, just fucking around. But I remember walking through the house one day with the camera on my shoulder. I think I was just filming stuff around the house. And I remember my mum saying, she looked at me and she goes, "Supai."
Wow.
And from there you went on to do wedding videos, and you got a lot of snippets in the comedy which relate to those.
Yeah.
And I think everyone can relate to those, because every Greek bride and groom are their own production on their wedding day, aren't they?
Huge, man. Very high stakes, man. You only get one. The whole day is one take. Yeah.
Mate, I remember I was emceeing at one, a wedding, and I remember the groom, the best man, was in the middle of his speech, and the camera guy gave me a signal saying the tape was running out. And I looked at him and I said, "Well, what are you expecting me to do? Tell him to stop the speech because you haven't planned it properly." And sure enough, he had to actually change tapes midway through the speech. And I just said, I would hate to be the person like him the day after when they're watching the video and the tape's missing. So it's a high pressure job.
Like so many things like that you got to think of. And that one, especially when we were shooting with mini DV tapes, way back when, it was 63 minutes. And you kind of knew that if you were starting the speeches and you had about half an hour left on the tape, you were kind of good, maybe 40 minutes. Because you don't know with speeches, like they go on forever. But yeah, I've had that as well. Like fucking the best man's still talking. The room hasn't started yet, and I've got 10 minutes left. Like, fuck. Yeah, but I've had to just make the quick adjustment, just find the spot. Yeah, but the whole day is just kind of high stakes, especially for the bride. Really, it's the bride's day.
Yeah, true.
If the bride's happy, then you're good. Like if the bride's not happy, then everyone suffers.
So you did that for
it is. That's how it is.
You did it for a few years, right?
Yeah. Every so often, I still do it. Like so there might be one or two like bridal parties who like see this fella walk through their front door. They're going to be like, "Holy fuck, is this actually happening? Is this for real?" I'm like, "Yeah, my luck, I got to fucking earn a living at it."
And acting, and were you doing stuff with regards to theatre and filming during that time too?
I was. I'd started to dip my foot in there in my early 30s.
Right. Okay.
And then I came to a point around about my mid 30s where I had to make a choice between whether I was going to live my life as an artist or kind of like see it more as a hobby. You know? So I went that route. I sold up everything. Yeah. And I moved to New York, and I was living there for a couple of years, working in the theatre, writing for the theatre, producing, directing short plays, working on sketch shows and things like that. Yeah.
I remember, I can't remember reading it, or maybe it was an email that you sent out. But
it's a Nils Gosmos thing. I don't know if you were there at the time when they wrote it. Nils Gosmos have been really kind to me. They've written quite a few articles supporting me, and they wrote one about how I was about to head to New York, or I was kind of coming back and forth.
That's probably where I heard it from.
I mean, it's amazing, and that's the thing which I think was important about having you on the show, apart from the fact that we all worship you and want to have you. I speak for myself, you, whatever. But
me too.
You weren't here when we were chatting earlier.
No, I wasn't. Definitely, there was a reason for that. It was to allow you the space to,
work.
But see, that's what happens when you lose your train of thought. You get off the station, you get back on again, then you resume. There are so many wonderful people out there doing amazing things, and you mentioned your mate, the actor,
Nick Strabakos,
who you rate really, really highly.
Yeah.
And so many people within the arts. And the arts is a sector of Greek-Australian life which doesn't really fit the stereotype of the value system, which revolves around success being money, property, professionals, and yet this is such an important component of everyone's life. And it exists, I think, on the margins of the Greek-Australian consciousness of what Greeks are supposed to be like. And yet here you are doing what you're doing, holding up a mirror to the past, raising questions of identity, of language. You know, you are the only comedian that I know within our field that actually raises questions of language and grapples with the nuances of language, which you do in your songs, in your analysis of words, in a really sophisticated way. And I think you're the only Greek-Australian comedian so far that really understands both cultures well and has a grounding in both. If I look at the earliest comedy, these are people that basically existed as a generation apart from their parents and respected them or influenced by them but didn't really understand them, couldn't engage with that. And they dealt with that in a really good way in the Acropolis Now series by writing them out altogether. They're in Greece and they live within their own bubble. Then you have the modern comedians who trying to do ethnic comedy without really understanding the language or the traditions or the customs of the ethnicity they're trying to parody, which is why it fails spectacularly. But you're brilliant in both worlds. Your Greek is good. You understand the mentality of the Greek speakers, whatever generation they belong to, and you also live here, and you can seamlessly shift between generations and cultures.
Yeah.
And I think that's an amazing phenomenon.
Thank you, Dean. Well, man, that's.
And I'm not saying that because you're the only person that's ever portrayed me in a sketch. That sketch where you're pretending to be me.
He did a good job. He did a good job.
I saw that man here when I rocked up. I go, that's the dude from the sketch. That's the dude from the sketch.
Amazing stuff.
You,
and can I say, if I was to pick an actor to portray me in a movie, it would be you, but that wouldn't be doing you justice.
That's very kind of you. I don't. Thank you, Dean. But like, I've just done voices ever since I was like 15 or 16. Even now, I walk around the house and I'm always just something different, Peter. You know, it just comes like this and then like that, and I switch from this to.
That's sort of semi-Russian Yugoslav. It's like almost your Kovidov.
Yeah, it's almost like Yuri Kachukokov, but he's a much more.
Well, I'm told that he's much chastened these days.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to ask you.
They just come up though.
Cockaflopoulos. Cockaflopoulos. Where does that come from? Because to me, when I first heard that, I'm thinking this guy's in his early to mid 40s.
Yeah.
Grappling with questions of virility. You know, the red pill represents your desire to know the truth. The blue pill will keep you rock hard for hours. Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, I haven't thought about it that deeply, but I do remember.
Oh, I think about virility all the time.
I remember there was a fella at Princess Hill, and he was bagging my mate, Tas Papadopoulos. And he goes, what's your name? Fucking Dickaflopoulos, fucking Cockaflopoulos. Yeah. And I just thought it was fucking hilarious. I thought it was fucking hilarious. But now, like, he would probably get kicked out of school for racism.
Well, yeah,
well, I mean, we're touching on another area now, but I thought it was fucking hilarious that he made. And then I copped it as well as they crack a fatis and stuff like that. So they're all like phallical, dick oriented.
Which you use for the producer of the show.
Yeah.
So it's great how these viomata, if you like, these experiences get woven into the comedy. I mean, that is the best comedy. It's based on real life.
Thank you, man. But like, I felt like if I'm there's one thing about like if you're making fun of like people's names, it's so I figured I'd be the first to make fun of my own surname as well, and
well, you took it and you own it now.
I own it, man. Like it's
yeah.
But that was I won't give the guy that much. I won't mention his name. I'm not going to give him that much credit because he was bagging us at the time. But
yeah, absolutely.
But it was from that. Like he called him, Dickaflopoulos. Yeah, and that reminds me of times when we were hanging out as headbangers. This is kind of like a digression a little, but we'd get pulled over by cops a lot because we had the hair, and flannels, and everything else. There was this one time in Preston we got pulled over by cops, and they were taking our names, and they went from Antonopoulos, Babadopoulos. It came to me, and I went Arabatsis, and he goes, "Fucking hell, why couldn't it be Smith?" I remember that shit, man. The cop said to me, he goes, "Fucking hell, why couldn't it be Smith?"
Oh, gee.
Yeah. Just little things like that where you kind of go, "Oh, that was funny, that was interesting," but you think about it now, and you think about, "Oh, okay, how were we perceived back then?" There's a difference. There was a difference, and the struggle with identity has always been there.
Yeah.
For me, and as for you guys would know this as well. Like living inside the house, Greece, through the idiot box, through the TV, Australia, representation of what Australia is. White Anglo people.
It's always been Greece for me, mate. Ever since we got that antenna television, we
don't
even know that Australia exists.
Yeah, that's probably even better for you. Yeah. But the perception, the perception that gets fed through that TV of what this country is, was, the faces that you see. It's all like that, How you going,
yeah. And that you're not part of that world.
You're not part of that, Peter, unless you're a funny character, and we can call you Wog on the what was it? No, Kingswood Country.
Kingswood
Country. Right, Ted Bullpit.
Ted Bullpit. Brother was fucking hilarious too. But you think about it now, they got away with it because Ted Bullpit was a malaka. Like he was stupid.
Oh, really?
He was stupid. Ted Bullpit was
wasn't that the
stupid.
point? The point that this character is disgusting, and you're supposed to. The comedy's in the fact that he's such an idiot.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it was racist?
No.
Whether it was making fun of racism.
they're making fun of. Yeah, it was.
Well, that's how
it
I
was.
That's
yeah, it
how
was.
I saw it. But I mean, I suppose you can see it any way you want.
Yeah, that's how I saw it. The thing is, like, one of the reasons why they got away with it is because the status.
Yeah.
The status was different. If he was a high status character, if he was more intelligent,
Yeah.
than the Lex Marinos character, then
You're right.
You can't.
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
But really, see, I see this since you raised that. Home Sweet Home was another one back in the day. I think Maria Mercedes was playing the Italian mother in that one.
Yeah.
But in all, I think Anglo mainstream comedy, when they portray ethnics, or when we're portraying it for them, it's what you said about the power imbalance. We always have to be lower in status.
Yeah,
We always
that's
have
why
to
Manny's.
demean
That's
ourselves
what.
to
That's
be
why
acceptable.
Manny's not. That's why.
That's
Manny's
why I
not.
think Manny's so important.
Never. He never. That's why he never apologizes, and he never ever has this this apologetic sort of self what's it, not self-sabotaging,
Self-demeaning quality. Self-deprecation.
self-deprecating. That's
Right.
the one.
Yeah.
Never
Defecating.
Not self-defecating.
Not self-defecating.
That's a whole other show.
Yeah, I just did that about 2 minutes ago, but no, but like he doesn't have that self-deprecating. He doesn't, because it's easy to kind of lean into like, I'm just joking, give a wink to the to the camera there, and go, that's all right. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
He never does that. He kind of always leaves it up there, because if he was to kind of apologize or wink at the audience or be self-deprecating, it just fucking kills it all. It kills it.
What I loved is,
so he never apologizes. Ever.
What I absolutely loved is in one of the episodes, he's mentioning Chekhov.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, that automatically is Manny telling the audience, listen here, I'm cultured.
Absolutely.
I'm well read.
Absolutely.
Okay. And anything that you see, even though you see the sort of WOG thing come out, it's a choice.
Yeah.
This is who I am. I'm proud of being who I am.
Yeah.
And I can be this person without being a dumb WOG.
Yeah.
And that these mannerisms that you see fit in with with who a cultured person is. And if your stereotype mind can't comprehend that, then that's your problem. But I'm going to show you how you can do both, and it's perfectly natural and fine.
We said it.
So the question is this: Manny's no holds barred, no compromises, elemental force of nature. The Honourable John C. Plethakis, would he apologise? What's his take on his identity?
Fuck. Yeah.
Or is he too busy just trying to stop getting hit by his mum and dad?
Oh, now can I ask?
that
Like,
too,
so is he the guy who's the president of some local?
The Hellenic
Greek
Council of
Greek
Western
Australian
Sydney
Council
and
of-
parts of Adelaide.
Yeah, that's the one.
Greek Australian
That's the
Council
one.
of Foreign Relations.
That's the one.
That's it. That's
From,
it. That's it.
Melbourne, Greater Western Sydney, parts of Adelaide, and Darwin. But I've had a few people from Sydney say it's actually South Sydney though.
What's funny about that character is that there are these self-created councils that purport to act in the interests of Greek Australians around there. And a lot of their work, for some of them, not for all, is quite limited in scope.
Yeah.
And it's just such a, I think, brilliant character on even just parodying that phenomenon alone.
He does, Dean. He does the. We haven't rehearsed this, by the way. There's this fucking.
Oh, that's news to me. I've been reading this for hours.
Oh, 3 hours ago, we're going crazy with this, man.
So what?
Forgot to write in the jokes.
Yeah. He is a manifestation, I guess, of certain people in our community, and I think in other ethnic communities as well, who internalize the parental the parental role within the community, and they kind of arrogate to themselves this position of cultural sort of referee, basically going around going, we don't do that. Like, that's a kala, things like that. And I've had one or two people comment on some of the videos.
Really?
Saying stuff like, "Ti vlastimas, mi vlastimas." And I'm like, fuck. I mean, I thank them for watching the video. If you're watching, I thank you for watching the video. But it's like, I read that and I kind of go, is that you or is that your mum? Like, you know, is that you? Vlastimas, you know, and like, fucking watch the video in context. I mean, you'll understand what's going on. But you find it's harder now? I heard those words, man. Like, those words were said to me growing up, and they were said to other Greek kids.
That's a cultural phenomenon.
I don't need to
bring up that
now.
word again.
No, I won't. Sorry.
Those words were said to us, like, and I didn't make that up. I used to hear my dad say that, and I'd be like, "You're gonna get struck down by lightning, man. How the fuck does that come out of your mouth?
Yeah.
That kind of a curse.
Yeah,
that is like." And if I've translated that to my, and I did it in the video, obviously, but just like to like non-Greek friends, and they just kind of wince. They go, "Oh,
yeah, it's pretty harsh."
You hear that shit growing up when you're 6 or 7 years old, man.
That's right.
Like, it's the not only the fear of God, but the fear of the devil. I guess the fear of just everything. Like, you imagine like Greek Orthodox churches all around Melbourne crumbling. You know, like when that thing gets like said, you go, oh, fuck, you can't say that. So then for someone to get on the video, whatever on YouTube and comment and say you know, don't say that. You can't say that. I'm like, you might want to go and visit your parents. You might want to go visit your old man or your uncle and say, you know what, when you used to
You've
say
copped comments like this.
Yeah, one or two. Yeah, if you go, I don't know, I forget where they are, but I think one of them was on the Father's Day, edition one.
So what did you say in that one that was so controversial? Oh, you were mentioning some of the things your father would have said?
Yeah.
Right, okay, I get it now.
Do you know what? If we can't have a full and frank discussion of all the cultural influences that have shaped us, well, then we're not really understanding our own identity. We need to take
don't get me started on what we can and can't discuss.
On, you know, as a whole, and accept that they formed who we are. Now, I grew up in a household where people didn't blaspheme. Instead, they'd give me the dictionary and say, learn these words.
Wow.
So I learnt those words on my own. Then I tried to blaspheme. And that's not... But uncles, aunts, people within the community, yeah, that's a phenomenon. And you analyse it not only for the effrontery, you know, are we going to get dragged to hell as a result, but also just the colourful use of language.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that when they're saying these expressions, some of them are brilliant.
Yeah, they are.
For example, I would hear people through the community, you know, who come from Korea saying, I wish I had given birth to you through the other hole rather than actually giving birth to your property and disposed you. Now that is hardcore, okay?
Yeah.
It is the ultimate in disowning someone.
Right.
But it's also bloody funny.
Yeah.
It's funny too, yeah.
It is.
And we got to find the humour in trauma, I guess. And a lot of us growing up, grew up living through a lot of traumatic incidents that, you know, I haven't gone into through my own personal thing. But, you know, we got to make use of them and turn them into comedy and be able to sort of take them out here, shape them, make them a thing, and then laugh at it in order to carry on the healing process, you know, because that's a traumatic thing for people to come from the other side of the world to go to a country where they don't know the language and 3 months on a boat or whatever and get here and people are like treat you like shit and you got to make a fucking life. You think you're gonna go? You think you're gonna get through that like unscathed? You know?
No.
You know, it's not going to happen.
Is that why Ange Arabatsis always looks constipated? Is that because he's suffering from some type of trauma? What's the deal with that guy?
He's, it's funny with him. Like, he's kind of like a cross between, like Manny and him are both kind of like extremes of
yes.
me, obviously. It's kind
very
of obvious,
good, very good point. Yes,
he shows his uncomfortable. His uncomfortableness in front of a camera, and I personally am not that comfortable in front of a camera. Like as an actor, like I got to work at it, you know.
Yeah.
It looks like it's kind of like off the cuff, and a lot of it is.
Yeah.
But there's work there, and then Manny's like hard work. He's fucking draining. Like when I'm done with a video, because there's so much stuff from like subconscious stuff and stuff from deep within that's kind of coming out through him, and but if like the evangelist character, just to answer your thing, allows himself to be seen uncomfortable. And the bits where I would, as Ange, if I was doing Manny,
Yeah.
the bits where I would take a moment and just recompose myself and go again, with the evangelist character, that becomes part of
the actual
part of the
performance.
thing. And then and every time I do that, I kind of go, yeah, this is weird. Two people are looking at me. Okay, so anyway, it's allowing the internal dialogue to sort of come out and then writing with that. But I couldn't do that with Manny.
It's actually uncomfortable for me because I'm one of those. I tend to. I'm not a fan of cringe comedy. I'm not. Okay.
It's the first time I've heard that, but it's got to be a thing. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's got to be a thing.
and because I empathise too
Yeah.
much with
Yeah.
the character, then
Yeah.
I start feeling embarrassed for them.
Yeah.
So when I watch it, I just wait. Can it end? Can the torture end? Right.
See, I see it differently. I know
You would.
Yeah.
You would see it differently.
I would, because I know so many people who are like Evangelos Arabatsis.
Yeah.
And
Really?
Evangelos actually makes them look good. Because the point about Evangelos for me, and I thank you for that insight because I would never have considered it, is that he's the other extreme, but he's also the twin of Manny because both of them are unconsciously who they are. The only difference is that Manny positions himself, no holds barred, this is who I am, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
But so does Evangelos.
Evangelos, I think, is so contrived because there's so much in there that he fears to let out. I don't think he's being himself. That's the way I see him.
This is the way you said.
Yeah, I see it completely differently.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, I defer to you because he's your character.
Yeah,
But-
but that your perception is valid.
I see that he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know what to bring out there.
Here's the thing, like
You know what I mean? He's conflicted.
here's the
you
thing.
see that.
Here's
Manny's
the
not
thing.
conflicted.
No, he's not conflicted. But then that brings up the question of like, does he really know who he is, or is he putting on a show? And is Evangelos actually more real than him because he's allowing himself to be seen?
You gotta love this man.
He's
one of
allowing
the-
he's
man.
allowing you to see him go through the whole process of learning
Yep.
about who he
Yep.
is. You know,
Yeah.
And what
this-
implications that has for us as we negotiate our own culture, which is why I say it's goldmine. Of,
Yeah.
you could do your PhD on your YouTube
The characters,
searches. You really
right?
would.
It's
You know what? I probably will. I'll probably go and do a PhD on Manny.
PhD on it. Well,
It's one of the things that I do miss and being involved in making films is these type of discussions. 'Cause I've never acted, but directed, and having to have these discussions with actors.
Yeah.
And the thought process that they go through, and every actor's different. Every actor's got their own way of doing things. Of course, you learn your ways. Are you fan of method? Are you the method guy?
Actually not really. But
Really?
I understand it. Yeah, I understand
Amazing.
it. But for me, it's more like the outside in. Really, maybe I do method stuff like unconsciously, but it's very the voice helps a lot. Like with you change your voice, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden there's a different character.
It's like
Dean,
that Peter Sellers
Isn't
thing.
there?
He did that. Yeah.
There is indeed.
I love how he does that. It's just, and the thing that I love
Yes.
is that you, just doing it now, you
yeah.
change your facial expression.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a completely different person.
Yes.
Should try that when I'm in court next time.
Yeah, but there's a whole other. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should. You should. I just grabbed that. Yeah, but there's a whole. I mean, it's a quicker way in.
Yeah.
But
Right.
then once you're in there, you grapple with the question of, am I fucking? I can't be caricaturish here. Like, so where's the truth? Where's the truth?
Because Anthony Hopkins is he operates pretty much the same way. That he's all external. There's no method. He's,
Who's Anthony Hopkins when he's at home? What do you mind up to the dog serie? We're talking about Ange Arabatsis, Manny Cockaflopoulos,
yes, I know,
John
I
C.
know.
Plethakis. Can Anthony Hopkins do John C. Plethakis? I don't bloody
no,
think so.
I don't think so either.
But it is the once you're in there, once you're in there with the externals of the character and the voice and the mannerisms, the physicality, it's about finding or staying true to your own internal voice. And it's very tricky. That came up a lot with Manny in the beginning, because even people would come up with ideas about, you know what, he should do this and he should do that. He should be dressed like this. And then I had to
We'll call that out.
I had to sort through all of that and go, hell, no, he's not a fucking caricature. He's not. Why can't I do a video then? I love Sabbath. I have that T-shirt up. That's my favorite T-shirt, and I was wearing it that day. So then, like, Manny gets on and goes, I'm wearing my fucking Sabbath T-shirt because I'm feeling Sabbathy. You know what I mean? That was I was feeling that. But it came out through him. Whereas if I had an idea of who he was, then it would just be fucking caricature. So it is a way of getting in there. And then I'm in here now. What's going on? What's the truth? What do I want to say now that I'm in here?
On that token, how many marriage proposals has Manny received from adoring fans of both sexes, of all sexes,
and their parents?
And their parents.
Yeah.
Are we
are
looking at love on the horizon for Manny?
I think people are probably quite sort of
lock up your daughters, that kind of thing.
I don't know if women find him attractive or not. I don't know. Like, to be
I
honest,
find
I
him
don't know.
attractive.
I don't know.
Are you kidding?
I don't know.
Of course they would, man. Are you serious?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Seriously, I'm not fishing for compliments here. Seriously, I'm not. I haven't received any.
Oh, Dean, get to work, man.
Yeah.
I've proposed to him and he's turned me down many times.
Well, you just gotta do it the right way, dude.
Yeah, I never do anything the right way. That's my problem.
So can I ask, because I do want to explore some this your theatre and acting work a little. So when did you get into acting more seriously? When did you start delving into it a lot more and said, you know what, I want to really pursue this? I think now I'll go back to my experience. My first introduction to you was maybe about 12 odd years ago, where a mutual friend of ours, Jim Katsukas, and him and you and the crowd and that Barea were running the was it the Underground Greek Film Festival?
We called it the Short Greek Film Festival, which you know, thinking back, was like,
that was part of the Antithesis Festival at the time.
Antithesis, that's what it was. Yeah. It was Antithesis.
We formed an kind of an antidote to the Antipodes Festival, which we called the Antithesis.
Yes,
and was with myself, Jim Katsukas, and Nick Tiavos, who's like, I think about his music, and if you've ever
Nick and I come from the same corridor.
You really?
Yeah. Oh, really?
He's a contrabassist. He's just a phenomenal musician, and his partner Deborah Kaiser, who's a soprano, who's just sings like a fucking angel. And the two of them together playing in the church, just forget about it. So he took care of and then Coralie Dimitriadis, who's a writer, well-known Melbourne writer, poet, writer, performer. We kind of found each other around that time.
Right.
And we were hanging out a lot. And we were like, that's fucking, the Antipodes isn't showing, kind of like a Greek fringe, where there's a Greek fringe now.
Yeah.
And we developed this idea for an alternative sort of fringe festival, and we called it the Antithesis. And Jim and I ran the film part of it. Coralie ran the spoken word performance.
I think that was 2010, because I emceed an event with poets.
Yes,
part of the
I remember that too.
Was the one. Yeah, that's where I first met you at the museum. Was it that one?
You know, I can't remember that.
That it was no. Hang on.
I was filming it.
He's right. Yeah, he was right. He's right. It was at the museum. It was in the museum. I was there at that event. And the reason why I got involved was because Jim approached me with regards to my film, and we screened my film at Loop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So and then after that, I got to see your film. Hilarious, man.
Which one? Short Change.
Here.
Oh, mate, hilarious. There was the scene. There was a scene when Jim was working at the gym.
Slap in the face.
Slap in the face. Right.
Petros, the trainer's training him.
Yeah. And then like, I'm gonna be positive and so forth, and it just cuts to the next scene, and Jim's just crying.
37. We cut to a black screen. 37 seconds later. And
that's it.
And Petros, his trainer, is there reading him inspirational quotes from this Rocky inspirational quotes from Rocky.
Yeah, that's
Get up, man. He's making love shot.
So I enjoyed it. I really did. And that's when I first got introduced to the fact that this is Ange, and Ange directed this and wrote this. And
Jim and I have been close for years. We've worked on a lot of projects together, and Katerina Katsonis, who's another brilliant actor, was part of that group as well. Another fellow, Peter Stefano, as well, who is another brilliant actor of kind of our vintage, who is criminally underused.
Yeah,
we were all part of this group, and we were kind of connecting.
And was during this time where you were experimenting with acting, or was it more directing, or you were doing?
I was already acting there, but I started experimenting more with directing and writing. We got together when we were working on a short film over a period of maybe a year, like every week, getting together and workshopping ideas for writing this feature script with another fella, Forti Vrionis. So it was all us Greeks just trying to make our own work, and it was an inspiring time. And I often think back to those times and think, fuck, like I would love to get back together with them again, you know. And who knows, maybe with Garlic Breath and stuff, because like we would hang out and just fucking make each other laugh.
So Garlic Breath is the production company or production label that produces the YouTube films, for those who don't know. And Garlic Breath has all those ethnic connotations, which I think is interesting and layered, nuanced and all that. Is there room within the mainstream Greek community for that artistic fringe movement that you're describing?
Oh, man, I'm trying to make it.
I think that's the best response. You want something to get done, you do it.
I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to carve that path through, because I know now that there's a Greek fringe festival that happens. I think Konkalamaris is a brilliant like exponent and promoter of like the Rebetika and there's that, and even that for me is like, okay, where the fuck would Manny? Where would he fit in there? Like, there's no, I can't see where he would fit, where Garlic Breath would fit. So it almost needs to be a fringe to the fringe, even, you know, because even that is more, that Greek fringe festival, I see it aspires to a little bit more sort of high art thing, which is fine. There's room for that as well.
Right.
But Manny's like, he's from the
not high art.
I mean, he doesn't aspire to be. Now, the way Dean and you guys like break it down, it makes me sort of reflect back on it and go, oh fuck, there's something deeper going on. If I tried to put in those themes in there, it would be much more contrived for me. I just got to like be true to my.
Oh, well, that's it.
Absolutely,
that's what it is. It's got integrity.
He's got dirt on him. Like all that stuff's got dirt on it. You know?
Yeah.
And so there's no. Thank you. There's no. I'm still trying to find that path for him to really make his mark on a bigger scale, and I guess, you know, I got to do it and stuff. It's fucking tiring, man. It's but you know, I keep at it.
And you're doing another some of the episodes you were talking about people asking you to doing live shows.
Yeah. So after my VCA grad film, I turned my attention to creating a live show, and I'm still up in the air as to whether it would just be Manny or whether it would be like a Garlic Breath live show where I introduce a whole bunch of different characters. I think that's the way I want to go. Yeah, because I've got so many other characters that I'd love to share with the world. Yeah. There's a lot on the horizon, but it's just a matter of everything happening in its time, you know.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like many artists, I get overwhelmed, man, if I think about all the different ideas and all the things I want to do. It's
mate. I can't imagine.
So I have a really short attention span, and we'll end the segment. But I've heard enough from you. Can we hear from some of your mates? And what if they're in there somewhere? Just a message for the audience who are possibly ogling you from the other side of the screen.
Keep doing what you're doing there. You're onto something good.
Now that's economy of movement personified.
I wasn't finished.
Sorry,
There's more of this, a little bit of that. I might like it. Nice. Over to you, Peter.
Oh, it's back over to me. It's totally. You know what? Being in the room with him, it is intimidating and it's overwhelming.
You feel intimidated?
Mate, I'm telling you now,
I
Manny
just feel
Cockaflopoulos
reverence
is
reverence and
intimidating.
awe, not intimidating.
Oh, I'm intimidated.
It's like a benign god, one that will actually
But
benefit
if you
you.
feel it, like, understand that, right? So you felt that.
Oh, yeah.
So when he comes out and when I'm recording these videos, understand like the level of electricity in the air.
Yeah.
And having to record one of these things and go through and cut it together. Like by the end of it, I'm fucking knackered.
Yeah,
Because when
and
he comes up, it's kind of like a demon that comes up and says, "All right, you want to play it in my Lakers? Let's play. What do you want there?"
It's brilliant, though.
Yeah, best of Dane.
And I think on that note we'll end. Thanking you profusely for coming on.
Thank you,
No,
guys.
it's
Wishing
been
you all
absolutely
the best.
fantastic. It really
And
was
guys,
been really good.
if you want to contribute to Manny's endeavours, you can contact us or you can contact Manny directly. We can find out how to do that. And you can even speak to Ange if you want.
Yeah.
yeah. He might be able to
just call me up.
And help Ange
organize a Zoom chat.
make things really happen with his films and his artistic endeavours, because this is one person that we all really need to get behind, and I mean that in the nicest
Couldn't
possible
agree.
way.
Thank you so much.
Couldn't
guys.
agree more.
Really appreciate it.
Because there is a it's a Patreon site. You've got
There's a
bank
Patreon
account.
site, Garlic Breath Comedy at gmail.com if
Yeah.
people want to get in touch that way and if they want to find out any more info. But Garlic Breath Comedy at Patreon. And then I've got the Australian Cultural Fund where people can donate to my grad film as well if they go to the Australian Cultural Fund.
Yeah.
/Alexithemia, or if they search Alexithemia on that page. But I'm always putting up links on Instagram. It's in the bio. It's in on YouTube, Facebook as well. So everywhere.
And that's it. So we still haven't figured out a way of doing an outro for this show, to be honest.
This wasn't supposed to be the whole show.
What if I call in one of my other friends to do an outro?
Bring him in.
Bring him in.
This has been Romaic Ruminations. That's Peter Stefanidis is your host. Dean Kalimnew is...
Yeah, just leave it at that.
Shush! Fuck! Just... Fucking hell. Okay, let's start again. This has been... Hi, I'm Ange Arabatsis, creator of Garlic Breath Comedy. This has been Romaic Ruminations. Don't laugh. That's your host, Peter Stefanidis. Dean Kalimnew is his co-host. And you know who I am. I hope you're having a great Friday. If you're not watching this on a Friday, then what are you doing? Bye. He's still rolling. Did you cut it?